I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A spokesman for Russia's defense ministry claiming some military units are retreating from positions around the Ukrainian border. But correspondent Cammy McCormick reports the U.S. and allies are. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says he's seen no signs of de-escalation.
Everything is now in place for a new attack.
Stoltenberg said NATO has watched this scenario play out in the past.
What we have seen before is that they go in with heavy equipment and troops, take out some troops, and then they can easily move them back in again after just a few days on very short notice.
He said he is cautiously optimistic that the Russians have expressed an interest in continuing diplomacy. An NSC official confirms to CBS News the White House has put together a tiger team to game out how the U.S. would respond to a range of scenarios, including of Ukraine. 15-year-old Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva in tears as she moves into first place after finishing her short program at the Winter Olympics. She was cleared to compete even though she tested positive for doping before the games began. CBS's Steve Futterman is in Beijing.
There really has never been anything quite like this. Yes, we've had athletes perform in the Olympics and then they've had their medals taken away after testing positive for drugs. We've had athletes suspected of using drugs participate, and we've had athletes serve suspensions, then come back to take part in the Olympics. But never before can I recall someone who has tested positive so recently in competition.
Spanish officials say 4 people have died, more than a dozen are missing after a fishing trawler sank off Newfoundland. CBS's Vicki Barker from the foreign desk. Rescuers who rushed to the scene found 3 life rafts. 2 were empty. The third contained only 3 sailors. 21 remain missing. There is 1 life raft still unaccounted for, so there may be hope of finding more survivors. A Louisiana man who spent 44 years in prison for attempted aggravated rape in a case involving teenage twins has been freed. The decision partly based on evidence that's been available for years. Vincent Simmons says he's grateful.
It dawned on me. Man, you've been waiting all these years for this.
His accusers are now 59, and they say he's still guilty. After 3 years without a host, the Academy Awards will take on a triple dose of comedy.
Thank you! Thank you so much.
Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, and Regina Hall will head up March Oscar ceremony.
Thank y'all so much.
S&P futures are up 53. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 19 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. 91% of educators surveyed in late January say they're extremely or very concerned about Michigan's educator shortage. Teacher retention was more of a concern than unfair evaluations, school violence, and COVID fatigue. Michigan Education Association President Paula Herbart says teachers welcome Governor Gretchen Whitmer's latest budget proposal, which includes retention bonuses.
Educators are asking for real solutions to this crisis, and Governor Whitmer's budget proposals are a major first step in helping recruit, retain, and respecting educators, so we can support Michigan students. That's why have MEA's full support.
When it comes to COVID-19, 90% of educators surveyed say they are vaccinated, and 3/4 support their district's mask requirements. Midland City Council will be voting on a grant application to the MDOT Passenger Transportation Division for a feasibility study on a collaboration between the city, Dial-A-Ride, and County Connection of Midland. This week's council agenda says Dial-A-Ride was made aware of potential grants to study how collaborative efforts with the County Connection might affect the community and how it may look if a full merger was introduced that would create a county-wide transit authority. The grant request through MDOT could be worth up to $65,000. Bay City Attorney Jessie Scott Wood has announced her intention to run for judge of the 18th Circuit Court. She would replace the Honorable Judge Harry P. Gill, who is subject to mandatory retirement by Michigan's Constitution. Wood is a member of the Bay County Bar Association and has practiced law for nearly 30 years. Criminal lawyer, but focusing most of her career on family law. Wood is married with 2 children. She is owner-partner of a Wood Law Firm and has volunteered with the Bay City Players for more than 30 years and acting as a chaperone and costume helper in John Glenn High School. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
For over 45 years, Fast Eddie's Car Wash and Oil Changes has been a part of your community. We want to acknowledge our nurses, doctors, law enforcement, firefighters, and so many more men and women who are first responders. Stop into any of our Fast Eddies and get a first responder discount any day of the week. Get $15 off a full-service oil change and $15 off your next service. Everybody gets $2 off our premium washes. A small gesture to thank our first responders and loyal customers. Fast Eddie's also knows finding and buying a new vehicle is hard right now, and it's essential to take care of the vehicle you have. Our trained technicians use top-quality products that will protect your engine against wear and keep it running at its best. A car wash from Fast Eddie's uses twice the foam, twice the wax to help remove salt and keep your vehicle clean this winter. We take pride at Fast Eddie's by meeting all your vehicle's needs, both inside and out. As a family-owned business, we have 16 locations across Michigan, and we take pride in our product and customer service. Fast Eddie's. Vehicle's needs.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Warning today from the Coast Guard, there's no such thing as safe ice. Officials say you should exercise extreme caution before heading out onto the ice on Lakes Erie and Ontario because of unseasonably mild temperatures. The Coast Guard says there have been multiple reports of people falling into the freezing waters because of weak ice. The National Weather Service says the average temperature so far this winter season has averaged 34 degrees, up from 32 a year ago. The statewide organization is considering a ballot petition drive in hopes of Michigan. Leaders of the group called End Gun Violence say if lawmakers don't act on legislation, including universal background checks and safe storage for guns, they'll organize a ballot initiative in 2024. Bishop Bonnie Perry from the Episcopal Diocese of Michigan says they don't want to reinvent laws.
There are some very helpful, sensible bills that are in our legislature right now. Bills that would call for universal background checks. Bills that really would call for safe storage. That is a huge priority of ours.
The effort is an Oxford high school student whose friend was one of 4 classmates killed in a mass shooting last November. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see partly sunny skies today with a high of 27 degrees. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a low of 23 and temperatures rising throughout the overnight to 34. As we go into Wednesday, we'll see rain showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be cloudy with a high of 46 degrees and southwest miles per hour. Thursday, we'll see rain and snow showers with cloudy skies and a high of 32 degrees and new snow accumulation of 3 to 7 inches possible between Thursday day and night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 22 degrees. I'm meteorologist Amanda Edwards with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently 19.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW. WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW Radio. From my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, we welcome you this morning. Our program sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713. The number to call for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. Let Linda go to work for you. Or stop in to visit her at the Point, M46 and M47, the former ISD building. And while you're there, stop into Cafe 476 and enjoy their delicious beverages and foods and soups. All right. Ahead this morning after 10 o'clock, we're going to talk to a gentleman by the name of Andrew Presick about student loans and the student loan moratorium. At 11 o'clock on Focus, SVRC Marketplace will be the subject of our focus this morning. But for this first hour, open lines. Whatever you'd like to chat about, 752-6111 is the number, 989-752-6111 from just about anywhere because they don't charge long distance roaming anymore. So hop to it. Something that's going to be in the news, although I'm not sure it's going to be in the mainstream news. So far, they've ignored it. There is a special counsel, John Durham, who investigated some shenanigans during the 2016 election that had to do with spying on Donald Trump. And this investigation has now tied it back to Hillary Clinton. That there was an attempt to spy on Trump Towers for information, that there was an attempt to find any kind of evidence that Trump colluded with Russia, the Russiagate scenario, so that they could go after him when he became president, and that's exactly what happened. Well, apparently all of it was bought and paid for by the campaign, the Hillary campaign. And this is making mainstream media look bad for a couple of reasons. One, because when the allegations were made way back when, the mainstream media jumped all over it, deniability, and we only report what's factual and all of that stuff. Well, guess what? They've gone totally silent now. So it's going to be interesting to see what I have a prediction. Even though I read someplace where some Democrats are now calling for an investigation of Hillary, I have a guess as to what I think may happen eventually. And that is, if the Republicans take control of the House, they will, in the same way the Democrats have several times now, call for an investigation. Only this time, the the subject of the investigation will be Hillary Clinton. Would be interesting. Now, I also have to tell you, excuse me, I have to tell you I'm not in favor of it. Now, that may sound strange after what they've done to Trump and his allies and all that. But the reason I say that is I'm tired of the politics. It would be a political move. I think there should be a way to deter future campaigns from trying to pull off this monkey business. But holding another time-wasting congressional hearing leads to nowhere. It just seems to me to be a waste of time. How about we sit down and talk about the needs of the country and how to, get things back on track in this country and somehow figure out how to talk to each other, negotiate with each other, and come up with ideas for the country. Instead, we spend all this camera time, and they love camera time, folks, in all these hearings that lead to nothing. Or impeachments, based on political beliefs. How long ago was it Schiff said, I have incontrovertible evidence of Russiagate and Trump involved in Russia. And there was nothing. It was all politics. And if I don't want to see politics work one way, then I don't want to see it work the other way. Enough is enough. It really is. Is this what we send our representatives to Washington to do? I just believe that, I'm sure where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's probably enough here to go after Hillary. At this point in time, it would be politically motivated. I'll tell you what. They want to go after Hillary, let a grand jury do it. Keep it out of Congress. Let a grand jury do it. If there's enough evidence, well and good. I just think the time for Congress to get back to what Congress was established to do is long overdue. My personal opinion. That's all I'm offering up. This is an opinion show, If you agree or disagree, by all means, let's chat about it this morning, as we're about to do with Mark in Bay City. Mark, good morning.
Well, I kind of half-heartedly agree with you, but I still think accountability needs to happen, only because it will happen again. If one party can get away with it, then history will repeat itself.
All right.
I think Schiff, if anything, collateral damage, Adam Schiff needs to be held accountable.
Well, here's the way I view it, because I agree with you that there needs to be accountability, but that's why I said at the end, take it to a grand jury. If you've got the evidence, let the grand jury decide and bring charges. You're not going to have Schiff accountable. He's a politician. He made political statements, and they're pretty well protected. You're not going to go after Schiff. It's not going to happen. As much as I dislike the guy, and think he was full of it, you're not going to go after him. It's just not going to happen. However, in the case of Hillary Clinton, if what she did is illegal, or what her campaign did was illegal, then take it to a grand jury, let the grand jury bring the indictments, and go from there. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And that would be, in my eyes, that would be accountability the way law designed accountability to be.
Well, I think it also needs to be swift. It doesn't need to drag on for months on end. It doesn't need to be television theater.
Another reason why the grand jury is a better choice, because it's out of the view of the television cameras. The politicians can't grandstand.
One thing I would like to see for politicians is moving forward, the median income in your state, whether it's 45,000 or 80,000, but that's what that representative, when they go to Congress, should be making, not coming out making millions or what have you. But if you're going to represent the state that the average income is, and that way it's not long term, or maybe they'll increase the income of their state.
Here's the problem with your thesis. I like it, but here's the problem with it. First of all, you will deter people from running for office, because you have to remember this. When you go to Congress, the way the scheduling is set up, they usually fly in on a Monday, in session Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, fly home to their districts on a Friday, spend the weekends in their districts. In order to live in Washington, D.C., it is a fortune. If you sent some representative there because the average salary in his state was $50,000, and that's what you gave him, he couldn't afford to be there. She couldn't afford to live there. So you have to be realistic about the dollars. But I understand what you're saying. You know, I fully understand what you're saying, but it's unfortunately it's not realistic in the environment we live in today. In Washington, D.C., forget it. You know, $50,000, you'd be lucky if you could eat. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality.
And then one other topic is Timmy Beeson, I think, hit a home run with wanting to have the PTA meetings or school board meetings recorded.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea, but I from some of the schools, what would be the harm in that? I mean, what is said is recorded. What's wrong with doing that?
Nothing. It's a public meeting. I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think all meetings like that should be very public, recorded, streamed, however else you can get the information out. I think it makes a more informed electorate. But of course, you have to get people to watch it. But those that want to watch can. And I think it makes a more informed electorate. I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, put it on public television.
All right. Good enough, Mark. Hey, listen, have a great day. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Yep.
And the lines are open for you. Give us a call. It's the Art Lewis Show for this. What is today? It's Tuesday. I'm losing track of time. I told my wife yesterday we were coming home from dinner. I said, February is halfway over already. Wow. Better start cleaning up the golf clubs.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen or home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Still unsure about the vaccine? These Michigan doctors want you to hear them out.
Patients admitted, it's heartbreaking for me to have to turn to my patient in the bed and to say, you need to make that phone call because we're putting you on life support.
And when you have to tell a family member that they've lost a loved one, it's just brutal.
In order to keep Michigan safe, it's so important to get vaccinated.
Find your vaccine at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Hey, Jim! Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties.
We're growing fast, and I stopped working weekends thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/radar. Head to netsuite.com/radar for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business.
Prices at the wholesale level jumped again last month. The producer price index rose a full 1% in January. For the year ending in January, the increase is 9.7%. Both of those readings for January are stronger than forecast. Russia, saying it has pulled back some troops from the Ukrainian border, turned around global markets after days of losses. Restaurant Brands, parent company of Burger King and Popeyes, saw a rebound in demand in its restaurants in the recent quarter. Its breakfast business picked up as more people returned to offices. And Intel is buying Israel-based chip maker Tower for $5.4 billion. Tower also has plants in California, Texas, and Japan. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER 9898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers would like to remind you that building a defense against COVID-19 will take all of us. That's why we're proud to offer not only COVID testing, but also free COVID vaccines at multiple locations. Visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org for comprehensive information on locations and times near you. The only way this pandemic will end is with us. So let's all do our part to stay healthy and get vaccinated. Please remember to continue following safety measures to keep yourself, your family, and our community safe. Together, we can finally end COVID-19.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Art Lewis, did you do any pay-per-view event this weekend?
No.
Oh, then you didn't do this. Okay. Date that you didn't.
Never. No.
So you weren't paying to see the first ever PFC event.
PFC event.
The Pillow Fight Championship.
Oh.
For the first time ever, Steve Williams, who is the man that had a dream of turning childhood horseplay into a professional combat sport. I kid you not. There was both women's divisions and men's divisions.
Well, it's a real workout, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is. No, it is. I remember having pillow fights in gym class. I bet you can't even do pillow fights in grade school anymore.
Can't do dodgeball. Can you do pillow fights?
Probably not.
Again, probably got lost with the football coverage.
Yeah. I was watching paint dry.
You better watch out. Some pillow fighter's going to come up and teach you a lesson.
Where I'm from, if we had pillow fights, we'd probably put rocks in the pillows.
You New Yorkers.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
I see we've got the midterms COVID variant. The science of just in time for the elections. The mask has fallen.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we are back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on this Tuesday morning. Just when you thought the Super Bowl was history and it was past and there would be no more controversies, it was over. There's a controversy. Aside from the officiating. You know, I had to chuckle a little bit about the officiating in the NHL. And in the NFL in the Super Bowl. Some of the Bengals players were complaining that there should not have had a penalty. There were 3 penalties called toward the end of the game, which allowed Stafford to eventually find Kupp in the end zone and score the winning touchdown. But at the same time, they're mentioning the fact that they should not have been penalized. They neglect to mention that one of their touchdowns was caused because officials failed to see a face mask call on the defender. So it all kinds of washes out in the end, doesn't it? But that's not the controversy I was talking about. The controversy apparently surrounds Matthew Stafford not winning the MVP, the Pete Rozelle Trophy for Most Valuable Player in the Super Bowl, because he is now the first quarterback to throw 3 touchdown passes in a winning effort and win the Super Bowl that has not been named MVP. Cooper Kupp, the receiver of 2 of those touchdowns, was named MVP. Now, from where I sat, and I have to be very honest about this as I listened and watched the game, when Cooper Kupp caught that pass for the winning touchdown, I said, there's your MVP. I didn't even think of Stafford. I didn't even realize that all the quarterbacks that had ever thrown 3 touchdown passes in a winning effort were MVPs. There have been a number of quarterbacks that have thrown 3 touchdown passes in losing efforts that have not been named MVP. But in a winning effort, Stafford now stands alone as the only quarterback. And some were saying it's a shame because it would have cemented his route to the Hall of Fame and all of those things. I think that might be a little premature yet. I love Stafford. I wanted to see him win. I was glad he got a team around him that gave him the protection he needed, that had the capabilities to do what he wanted to do. Although I kind of agree with Mitch Albom, who said that the first part of the game looked like an old Lions game, but things got straightened out toward the end for sure. I like Matthew Stafford, and yeah, he may be Hall of Famer, but I don't know that he's ready for it yet. He's got to still prove himself a little bit. Come back, do it again, or at least get your team in a position to make it to the Super Bowl again and defend your title. And then we can talk about Hall of Fame. I think it's premature to do that. But I just read the story that that he was going down in the record books as the non-winner of the MVP. So it's, they got to have something to write about, and there it is. To me, it's over. It's done. The game was played. The Rams won. It was a celebration in Los Angeles. And now we can bring the hype for the next one, Super Bowl 57. Is it too early to start the hype? We don't even know who's playing yet. There is no sporting event on earth that has as much hype around it as the Super Bowl. I think I said this yesterday. It is a sheer case of marketing genius. If nothing else, the NFL deserves all kinds of credit for being able to create this spectacle that gets worldwide attention. More power to them. The power of marketing. There it is, folks. Lines open for you. Give us a call here on the Art Lewis Show, and we will be back after these notes.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
I had a member who received an email that a reputable company that she works with was going to take a large amount of money out of her account. She was panicked and upset, and I walked her through what she needed to do, told her the exact steps to do, and that I would keep an eye on her account. So she followed all of my instructions to the letter. And then the company that charged her account was aware that it was a scam, and they apologetically assured her that everything would be just fine and the money would not come out of her account. So she was very grateful.
Money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Find out for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to out-of-control spending, and every second that goes by, you are losing more and more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. Instead of letting Democrats treat your savings bank with trillions spent on their radical far-left agenda, you can protect what you've earned by converting your IRA or 401k into gold with Birch Gold Group. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bennett, and I'm one of Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, get a free 20-page info kit when you text the word SHELTER to 989898. Gold-backed IRAs make it simple to ensure your savings will be there when you need it in a tax account, no matter what happens in Washington, D.C. Text SHELTER to 989898 right now to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. There is nothing to buy. No obligation at all. Text SHELTER 989898. Take action. Do it today.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Your historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched and loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan offer. 27-year smart term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 17 in all 50 states.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate. Stay. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Though many people are doing okay today, there are still many people experiencing difficulties in the community. Here is a reminder for you of a free community resource you are encouraged to use yourself needing extra support. 211 is a public service number for all non-emergency needs. You can call it anytime, any day, and an agent will connect you with whatever it is you're looking for. Food, financial assistance, housing support, clothing, transportation. All you need to do is dial 211 or text your zip code to 898-211 to get connected. Looking for a COVID testing location? Need help paying your bills? Is food in short supply for your family? Dial 211 to talk to a compassionate, highly trained agent who is ready to connect you with local resources. It is a free and confidential service to help you overcome obstacles of all sizes. This message is brought to you by the Saginaw Community Foundation because it takes a village for good forever.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
Hi, we're back with you. The Art Lewis Show. And back to our phone. Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning. Scott, good morning to you.
Question for you.
Yep.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay. I got a question for you. Have you heard what the Durham report had said about the Clinton campaign?
Yeah. Did you hear me? I talked about it earlier.
2016 election.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. I talked about it earlier, and what I said, you may or you may not disagree with. I don't know. I'll say it again, though, for you, Scott. What I said was that I did not want to see, because I suspect that if Republicans take control of the House, they'll call for the same kind of investigation Democrats have done on everybody else. I said I didn't want to see that. I suggested what should happen is it should go to a grand jury, and if there's enough evidence, go after her that way, make it legal, and stop the circus act in Washington that we've all been watching here for years. I'm tired of that. I want to see accountability, and if there's enough evidence to prove it, I think there should be accountability, but let it happen in the legal system rather than the political circus we've come to expect in Washington. What say you?
Well, I agree. I think justice needs to be done because that's very widespread. It was a sitting president that some on the left were trying to remove using fraudulent means. We know what Hillary Clinton was doing. We know what the head of the CIA, James Comey, did himself. We know what Leon.
Okay, hang on a minute. Now you got to get your facts straight. You got to get your facts straight. Comey was not head of the CIA. Comey was head of the FBI.
Well, he was. Okay, you're right. Okay. But we know what he did. He released information and got a fraudulent warrant on his own. He wasn't working with the Clinton campaign, but they were working together, if you know what I mean. Then you had Leon Panetta, who voted Communist Party. He was actively seeking to remove Donald J. Trump. So I don't know if a grand jury is enough. I mean, we see what these sitting people did with their power. To me,
a grand jury is the highest.
Out of office, honestly.
A grand jury is the highest because they can bring indictments and force it to trial.
Yeah, but we see that our FBI, our CIA, some of these people in it, not all, some of them in it,
just a few,
are corrupt up to their eyeballs. Can we actually count on justice anymore? Really?
Well,
can you really count on the law doing what the law is supposed to do?
If you can't, then what do you think you get out of a congressional circus committee? Nothing. All you do is get a lot of hoopla, and a lot of people run the microphone saying, "Look what I did." I think in this country we have a system of laws, and we should trust that the laws will get it done. Now, is it perfect? No, of course not, Scott. Nothing's perfect. But the reality is, for the most part, our system works pretty well. And if there's enough evidence, a trial will be held.
It works. It seems like our system works well if we don't pay attention. But to those of us who are starting to pay attention and becoming awoke, we're starting to see that this federal government, now I don't really want to get into the Canadian garbage, but we're seeing.
I'm about to.
They are attacked.
I'm about
to. We really have no say in that.
No, we don't. You're right. But
again,
it's.
Our president did tell Justin Trudeau over there to use military force.
Yeah, he's
and
rude.
I find that amazing that he says use military force against your protesters.
Yeah, I know. And Trudeau, unfortunately, I don't like Trudeau. I don't think much of him, but he was smart enough to say, no, I'm not going to do that. What he did instead was invoke their Emergency Powers Act. They can not only order tow companies to tow away those rigs, they can impound the truckers' bank accounts. They can freeze their assets. They can do all kinds of stuff under this Emergency Powers Act. I'm going, wow, imagine that in this country. Nah, I don't think so.
No. Well, to me, now that I can say this since it's a different country, I think the people should rise up and yank those people right out of office. You want to seize my bank account, take my livelihood? I'm taking yours.
Yeah, well, that ain't going to happen.
It's supposed to be about. Government is not supposed to rule.
Yeah.
No, well, it's coming. Unfortunately, I think it's coming.
All right.
But I just wanted to, just get your thoughts on the Hillary thing and see how these people are corrupt.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
No problem, Scott. Thanks. Bye-bye now. Yeah, I stand on what I said about this Durham report. He's a special counsel. He filed it with the court. Establish a grand jury. Bring the evidence to the grand jury. Let them decide on an indictment. And if there is one, you go forward with a trial. Because at least for the most part, and it's not always the case either, but for the most part, they're not circuses. Yeah, we've had a few in the past, the O.J. Simpsons and things like that, but the reality is, for the most part, federal trials mostly aren't televised, so it's not a courtroom circus. where you know if it goes before Congress, it's a circus. It's let's see who can get the most camera time. Let's see who can make the most outrageous statements. Nothing is gained. It's a waste of time. I wish they'd take that effort and that energy and look for solutions to the problems in this country. Both sides. Sit down. Take good ideas from the left, good ideas from the right, put them together into a package that works for the nation, and move on. But no, they're so worried about re-election and all of that stuff and public image and the party politics. It's become party politics as opposed to U.S. politics. So, I don't know. Anyhow, I've been blessed to have a nice career all about it for a long time. So thank you, Washington. We will take a pause here. Let me take a pause to tell you about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group. And I say my friends, I mean Mike, Joe, and Pat, the brothers Thalen, are just absolutely wonderful people to deal with. And they've been, in business serving your automotive needs for over 45 years now. And they have all of those dealerships side by side. Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, with all those dealerships side by side, right there on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, they sell a lot of vehicles, and they take in a lot of pre-owned vehicles. They inspect them, bring them up to standards before they ever go out on the lot. But because they've all those dealers side by side, it has produced one of the largest pre-owned vehicle inventories in the region, all in one place. You don't have to go around from dealer to dealer to dealer. All you do is stop at the Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue and shop from hundreds of vehicles. Now, you'll also find certified pre-owned vehicles from their various marks that they sell, the new marks. As I mentioned to you, Ram, Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Kia, Honda, Mazda, Subaru, Volkswagen, Audi. You don't have to spend days and days going around from dealer to dealer. Just stop in at Euclid Avenue in Bay City, spend the afternoon shopping hundreds of vehicles, or check it out online at thinkthalen.com. Thalen, serving your automotive needs, as I mentioned, for 45 years.
The Bay Aranac ISD Career Center is the premier provider of career and technical education in the Great Lakes Bay region. Celebrating their 50th year of operation, this year's open house is on Thursday, February 17th from 4 until 7 p.m. Stop in to explore 25 different high-demand, high-wage career fields. Students can discover career paths they may not have considered, allowing them to follow their passion. The Career Center can help your student reach their career goals. The open house is Thursday, February 17th from 4 until 7 p.m. at the Bay Aranac ISD Career Center, 4155 Monitor Road, Bay City.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at Rocket? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
And now a small business setback, delivered by a kind French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, how do you say, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network of repair shops. Now, we sing about the old days. Vient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
LA Rams head coach Sean McVay, he says he's just not sure how his players will be able to follow social distancing guidelines while also playing football. McVay said, "It's really hard for me to understand this. I just don't get it. I really don't." Here you go, guys. It is possible to do. We can tell Sean it is very possible because, as we Michiganders can attest to, we've witnessed the Detroit Lions defense practice social distancing for years. is possible.
Group on the website had a big mistake. They were touting a President's Day sale, saving $10 to honor President Hamilton, who of course never was a president. And Dave and I referenced, we know that there are presidents on the 1, the 5, and the 50, but we don't have any bills bigger than that. For bills bigger than that, we have Art Lewis, who carries those other bigger bills in his wallet.
Thank you very much.
Pictures
Thank
on
you very
those.
much. We never see numbers that big to know who's on. Could ask ours.
Memorable moments are made with you. Weekday mornings with Charlie and Dave and Pat, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
You can hear about the cultural contributions and community in the Great Lakes Bay region on one of WSGW's new podcasts. I'm Larry Rodarte, publisher of Mi Gente magazine, and I'm inviting you to join us for Mi Gente On Air Sunday evenings at 8 p.m.
All right, we're back here on WSGW. I mentioned to Scott I was about to bring up Canada's problems with the truckers, the freedom protest. Trudeau, Justin Trudeau, and Trudeau, the Prime Minister, has invoked Canada's Emergency Powers Act. And it allows them to not only order the towing of all the vehicles, but the Emergency Act gives the federal government broad powers to restore order. Trudeau did rule out using the military against Joe Biden's advice, gee whiz. But instead, he threatened to tow away the vehicles and keep them, freeze truckers' personal and corporate bank accounts, and suspend insurance on their rigs. Jeez. The Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, who is also the finance minister, said the government will also broaden its anti-money laundering regulations to target crowdfunding sites that are being used to support the illegal blockades. They didn't say when this crackdown is going to begin, but wow, freezing their bank accounts, going after their livelihoods and all of that. That's Canada. It's different than the United States. At least the Freedom Convoy, the blockade of the Ambassador Bridge, which, by the way, cost Michigan and the auto industry about $300 million in lost wages and production, is finally over. The bridge is open to traffic. And, I think, we're blessed to live in this country today where we can do the things we do, say what we want to say, protest legally. Now, again, I'm going to point out how I always do. There is a difference between protest and rioting. You can have a whole group of protesters, and we'll use January 6th for an example. You can have thousands and thousands of protesters protesting what they believe in. And a splinter group riots and destroys property and invades Congress, trying to illegally change things. They're not the same. Once you cross that boundary and you become a rioter, you are no longer a protester. And it's true in the riots we saw in Milwaukee and Minneapolis, all those places. You have a whole group of people protesting what they see as an injustice. And then you have those who throw rocks through store windows and loot stores. That is not a protest. That is a riot. And should be treated that way. I don't see them rioting in Canada. I do see them disrupting. I see them protesting. I don't see any rioting. Somehow, we have to remember that distinction because they need to be treated differently. Protesters need to be treated with respect for offering up their opinion that they are allowed to do. And now we're talking about the United States again here, that they're allowed to do by our Constitution. And I'm not familiar with the intimacies of the Canadian Constitution, so I'm not even going to go there because I wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But the U.S. Constitution gives us the right to peacefully protest and address our grievances with our government. Doesn't give us the right to riot, doesn't give us the right to destroy property, doesn't give us the right to injure others. None of that. But it gives us the right to peacefully protest. And that's a sacred right in this country. It should be treated that way. All right, let's take our last break here, and then we will be back to finish up this first hour and tell you what's ahead.
Planning your home improvement projects for 2022? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been helping their Great Lakes Bay region clients for 64 years with large projects like remodeling a kitchen or bathroom, replacing a furnace or boiler, and installing central air. Maybe your project is smaller, like a water replacement, updating a kitchen faucet and garbage disposal. No project is too big or too small. Start by visiting the showroom where you will find products to fit your budget, design idea, and mechanical need. Reamer is proud to carry American-made products like Bradford white water heaters, American Standard heating and cooling equipment, Birch custom cabinets, and Cambria quartz. When you work with Reamer, you'll get expert knowledge and advice. Installation is completed by state licensed installers. So start your new year home improvement project with a visit to Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Call 989-792-8738 or visit reamerplumbing.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com for Sullivan's Food and Spirits is sold out. But you can still check them out online and in person. And don't forget to keep checking back because there are still a ton of deals on RocketGrabPlus.com.
Rocket.com. I vaccinate because I want to protect my daughter.
I vaccinate because these diseases can be deadly.
Because of vaccines, we tend to think of diseases like whooping cough and measles as things of the past, but they aren't. Michigan's children still get them and pass them on. Get the whole story at ivaccinate.org. I vaccinate because I got the facts. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the Franny Strong Foundation, and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
That'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We thank you for joining us. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk to a gentleman by the name of Andrew Prentick. He is a student loan expert. We're going to talk about the student loan moratorium. But before we do that, time out for the news, and then we'll be back right after that on the Art Lewis Show.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow is ready for talks with the U.S. and NATO after his defense ministry announced some troops are pulling back from the Ukrainian border. But NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says there is no sign it's actually happening.
Russia has amassed a fighting force unprecedented since the Cold War.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Washington. The White House says it's been preparing for a possible Russian invasion for months. A so-called Tiger team of senior officials who would pounce on the developments in Europe ran through their responses in 2 tabletop exercises. A playbook that details the possible scenarios in the first 2 weeks of an invasion has been drawn up, touching on everything from security for U.S. diplomats to humanitarian assistance for Ukrainian refugees.
A Russian invasion could send gas prices soaring even higher. CBS's Errol Barnett.
The main cause of this recent jump is the high cost of crude oil. More than 1/10 of the world's oil supply. So, of course, any military action by Russia in Ukraine could send the price of oil well over $100 per barrel.
15-year-old Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva still dominates the ice at the Winter Olympics despite a doping scandal. Correspondent Steve Futterman's in Beijing.
All eyes were focused on Kamila Valieva. You could hear the shutters of cameras snapping every time she moved. Her first jump was not perfect. She landed awkwardly. After that, though, she seemed to get things together and came through with an excellent short program. Maybe not as good as she wanted it to be, but it would still place.
Police in Louisville say a candidate for city council has been charged with attempted murder after a shooting at mayoral hopeful Craig Greenberg's campaign headquarters.
The man walked into our office. When we greeted him, he pulled out a gun, aimed directly at me, and began shooting.
Greenberg, a Democrat, says no one was injured. At least 4 people are dead after a Spanish fishing trawler sank off the coast of Newfoundland. Spain's transport ministry says 3 members of the 22-person crew have been rescued from lifeboats. They are all reportedly in hypothermic shock. Archaeologists say a truck driver snorkeling on Germany's Baltic weighty find. CBS's Vicki Barker at the foreign desk.
The bronze statuette of a female figure has been dated to 700 BC. It's the 13th to have been found along the Baltic coast. A Swedish archaeologist theorizes they may all have been used as weights by ancient merchants.
This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It's been a challenging year. Asking for help can be hard, but finding it doesn't have to be. If you need help with your energy and other bills, call 211 or visit mi211.org for access to the help you need.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have...
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Partly cloudy skies and 23 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. St. Elizabeth Catholic School in Reese will remain in operation. The future of the school was under review at the parish, and Father Christian Tabares said they reviewed their current enrollment and demographic trends for the area, the parish, and the school finances, as well as other data to assess the viability of the school. They also communicated with Bishop Robert Gruss and Cormac Lynn, Superintendent of Catholic Schools, the ongoing findings of the process. The diocese offered a significant level of financial support in the form of a grant, as well as other direct support to the parish and the school over the next 3 to 5 years. The offer was made with the hope it will allow the parish and school to address some of the important needs and fiscal concerns that currently exist. The Consumers Energy Foundation is bringing back the Put Your Town on the Map pitch competition to provide $50,000 for big ideas in Michigan's small towns. The competition provides funding for 3 projects which aim to help small communities in Michigan grow and thrive. Put Your Town on the Map aims to reward innovative ideas that attract visitors to housing, education, or employment, create community pride, and more. The foundation and the Community Economic Development Association of Michigan will select 10 finalists to make their pitch at the Small Town and Rural Development Conference in May. The top 3 winners will receive grants worth $25,000, $15,000, and $10,000 respectively. Communities with a population of up to 10,000 have through March 18th to submit proposals, which can be done at cedamichigan.org. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Service Master by Fusen, your fire, water, and storm damage restoration experts. Did you know frozen pipes are one of the most common reasons for pipes bursting in the winter? Reduce your risk of pipes freezing and bursting by letting water drip from faucets. Consider insulating your pipes, secure outdoor hoses, valves, and faucets, and open cabinet doors under sinks near exterior. Visit ServiceMasterByFusen.com or call them at 989-200-4929. Service Master by Fusen, restoring peace of mind.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Tri-Township Fire Department in Saginaw County is currently on the scene of a gas leak in the 6,000 block of South Graham, or M52. They will have M52 between Pryor and completely closed until further notice. Again, that is the Tri-Township Fire Department on the scene of a gas leak in the 6,000 block of South Graham, or M52. M52 is going to be completely closed between Pryor and Teft roads until further notice. Please avoid the area and find an alternate route. A new study from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show the state of Michigan ranks somewhere in the middle of the country for life expectancy. Armetta Landrum has this report.
78 years old, which ranks 35th in the country and only ahead of 2 other Midwestern states, Indiana and Ohio. Male and female life expectancy in Michigan was just under 5 years, in which men were expected to live on average 75 and females 80. According to the CDC, Michiganders can expect to live another 18 to 20 years after they reach 65. States with the lowest life expectancy at birth are mostly in the South, and the states with the highest life expectancy at birth are mainly in the West and Northeast. I'm Armetta Landrum for the Michigan News Network.
Prosecutors say they will not appeal a decision that derailed charges against the former president of Michigan State University. Luanna Simon was accused of lying to investigators about sexual assault complaints against Larry Nassar. The case citing insufficient evidence. Attorney General Dana Nessel expressed confidence about the case, but says she will not ask the Michigan Supreme Court to take a look. The charges against Simon centered on a 2018 interview with investigators who wanted to know what officials at the school knew about Nassar, who was already convicted and sentenced by that time. WSGW News Time 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly cloudy skies here for today with a high in the upper 20s, while winds out of the southeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy early, then slowly rise overnight. By Wednesday, a chance for rain showers here late, cloudy skies a high into the upper 40s. Then by Thursday, a chance for snow showers 2 to 4 inches possible, cloudy skies and a high around 33. Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions will see high around 24. Then by Saturday, partial sunshine develops a high of 26. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 22.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show from my Second on Spirit Home studio. Nice to have you with us. Brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. 989-295-7713 puts you in touch with Linda, and she can go to work for you for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. You can stop in and visit her at the Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you will also find Cafe 476 and its delicious soups and foods and beverages too. As you may have heard in the news recently, the White House announced the extension of student loan moratorium. But we're going to talk about that this morning and its impact on Michigan with someone who is a student loan counselor. And we say good morning to Andrew Pentis. Andrew, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Sure, absolutely. So this moratorium it seems like an endless series of extensions on the student loan situation. How does this impact, for example, Michigan?
Yeah, so not only in Michigan, but nationally, obviously, there's millions of student loan borrowers, primarily of federal student loans, and this moratorium allows those borrowers to take a penalty-free break from their monthly payments so that they may be able to tend to other personal financial obligations. So specifically for Michigan, where the average federal loan balance is over $36,000, it's, how many borrowers are getting that break and probably welcoming that break from their monthly dues.
Are there qualifications as to who can take advantage of this?
Yeah, so it applies to most types of federal student loans. Some older types of loans, such as FFEL loans, as well as Perkins loans that were lent directly by schools, are not eligible. Private student loans lent by banks or credit unions are also not eligible, but the vast majority of federal student loans have been and will continue to be eligible for this moratorium.
And some of these folks have loans that go back, 20 years, it's just, it's amazing to me that the student loan issue hasn't somehow been resolved, and we figure out how to finance education so that people don't come out of school strapped with enormous debt for years and years and years. What do you advise students when they come to you and they're going to go to college? What do you tell them?
Yeah, what I tell students who haven't borrowed is that borrowing should be their last resort, and only that. Families is that you want to exhaust every other avenue towards either financial aid that does not need to be repaid, such as grants or scholarships or work-study programs, or you might want to set your sights on schools that are keeping their costs down. So that's obviously a huge part of this ongoing problem, is that the federal government has been giving families and students the ability to borrow, and colleges have been increasing their tuition prices over time. So it's one hand is feeding the other, and families are kind of left out of that process. So I often am saying to families, why not attend a community college for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm.
Go to that maybe higher priced four-year school.
What changed in our society? Here's what I mean by that. Yeah, I'm an old goat. I'm in my upper 70s. When I went to college, my parents paid for it. Now, this was back in the 50s, early 60s, but they paid for it. And that was the way back then. Most of the time, the parents assumed the responsibility of the youngster going to college. Maybe the youngster did some work while he was at college to earn some money to help with incidentals and things of that nature, but that's the way it was done. And if they were going to borrow money, they went to their bank and they borrowed a few bucks to put the kid through school. What changed?
Yeah, so obviously it's no single thing. It's a variety of factors, but I think part of what we're seeing now is the fact that wages have not kept up with the price of college. So of course, I think all parents today, including myself, would want to be able to pay for their child's college out of pocket. And it's unfortunately just not possible for millions of families across the country. And then besides that, we've had the federal government essentially open the floodgates to allowing families to borrow up to 100% of their students. And that's parents borrowing, as well from the federal government at lower interest rates than they would be able to get from a bank. And then on top of that, as we said, colleges are saying, families are able to borrow more and more. Why don't we just keep increasing our prices? So those are the real trio of factors that have kind of got us into this predicament that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, I mean, and the cost of education somehow has to be addressed. Just has to be addressed. I'm not sure
Absolutely.
how to, it's I put it in the same category as the cost of medicine today. Somehow we have to figure out how to control these things at the same time without saying, government, don't you step in and tell them how much they can charge. We don't want that either. But somehow there has to be a compromise here, because I feel sorry for these kids coming out of school strapped with loans that they're going to take 10, 20 years to pay off sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think what we
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say, what we want to tell the families, to your listeners is, treat shopping around for college the same way you shop around for any other product, whether it's prescription drug or anything else. You want to make sure that it's not only a fit for your child, but it's also affordable, so that they don't find themselves strapped with all that debt when they do leave school, hopefully with their diploma.
Yeah. So what do families, what do students have to do to take advantage of this moratorium?
Yeah, so if you're already a federal student loan borrower, unfortunately, there's no action that you need to take in order to benefit from the moratorium. What you can do is contact your federal loan servicer over the phone or via studentaid.org if you want to confirm your eligibility for the moratorium. But there's no action that really you have to take in order to. It does expire, though, on May 1st. So what you want to do is sort of set a plan forward for your loan repayment so that when we get to the spring, you have a strategy for how to pay down your debt.
But let me understand, under this moratorium, you do not pay down your loan debt. Is that right? You do not have to pay anything.
Exactly, yes. It's a moratorium of your monthly payment. So right now, you do not have to pay anything as long as your federal loan does qualify.
By the same token, it doesn't reduce that loan. It just slides it a lot farther down the road.
Exactly. So borrowers who will continue essentially pick up where they left off when this moratorium was first instituted in March 2020.
So it's possible under this moratorium, though, if you want to keep paying your loan, you can or you can't.
You absolutely have the option to make voluntary payments towards your debt if you'd like to, and that can be beneficial for some borrowers who are perhaps close to the end of their balance, because 100% of their voluntary payments will go towards attacking the principal of their balance, assuming they don't have outstanding interest or fees. But for the vast majority of borrowers nationwide, they've been enjoying this break, are not in a position necessarily where they feel like they can continue making their payments immediately.
So, Andrew, let me ask you this. What would you like to see take place in the student loan program?
Yeah, so I think any solution that we need to talk about has sort of two different categories. One is for families and students who've already borrowed student loans, and one is for families and students who have yet to attend college or even think about borrowing student loans. Continuing to offer targeted loan relief for borrowers who already have debt is very important. So certain award partial forgiveness to graduates who have used their degree to perhaps perform some type of public service that benefits society at large. That way they get a little bit of help with their debt in exchange for their expertise that they gained in school. And then for families that have not borrowed student loans, again, the best advice is avoid student loans if you can. And there are a wide variety of ways to do that, including by applying for scholarships and grants and really setting your sights on schools that are not going to set you back financially.
All right. So in conclusion, during the past presidential election year, we heard a lot of candidates put forth the notion, totally forgive college debt, wipe it off the books. Realistic or not?
Yeah, so the Biden administration seems to think it's very unrealistic because Biden himself campaigned on the idea of forgiving at least $10,000 worth of federal student loan debt, and yet he has not made a move testing his legal authority with an executive order to actually come through on that promise that he made to his constituents. Congress obviously remains very of a student loan forgiveness proposal that is mass in size. So at this point, it's extremely unlikely to come to fruition. And I would say to borrowers that, there are many existing student loan forgiveness and repayment assistance programs that are broken out by, what type of career you have, where you live. So absolutely look into those programs if you feel like you need to get help with your repayment.
Very good. Well, Andrew, I appreciate your time this morning and your insight into the student loan situation. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Andrew Pentis, he is a student loan counselor, and we appreciate his insight this morning. It's an issue that is not going to go away anytime soon because there's so many people straddled with all these loans. In Michigan, student loans in Michigan, borrowers owe an average of $33,487 in federal and private debt. Average balance $33,487. Total outstanding debt $51.4 billion. The number of borrowers 1.4 million. And the average total monthly payment $250. Now, student loan debt in Michigan's largest counties, from Genesee to Wayne, average between $33,000 and $36,000. And I'm not smart enough to know how to fix this system. I'm not smart enough to figure out how colleges can operate at a more efficient level and not charge as much as they do. It's beyond me. All I know is these kids are coming out strapped with huge, huge amounts of debt. Something needs to be done. All right, the remainder of the hour is open phones, whatever's on your mind. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free, 866-790-WSGW.
Your career takes flight when you join the winning teams at Soaring Eagle and Saginaw Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment destinations in Michigan are currently hiring for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, even though there's a new hotter than expected reading on inflation. The producer price index, prices paid at the wholesale level, rose a full percentage point in January. And in the year ending in January, the PPI rose 9.7%. Also, oil prices have been retreating after Russia said it pulled back some troops from the Ukrainian border. Tech giant Intel is buying Tower Semiconductor. It's an Israeli company that makes chips that go into cars, appliances, medical equipment, and many other things. After its earnings for the recent quarter was stronger than forecast, it's a sign the hotel business is bouncing back despite the impact of the Omicron variant. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Biden's massive spending plan has expanded America's money supply and taken money out of your pocket. But you can fight back against runaway inflation by sheltering your IRA or 401k with gold through Birch Gold Group. This is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm proud to be a customer of Birch Gold. Join me. Birch Gold has created a free info kit on protecting your retirement with account. Just text the words shelter to 989898. Text shelter to 989898 and learn how to shelter your IRA or 401k with gold.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, like cleaning your nose. After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my outdoor magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
you have the chance to win a $500 free fuel February contest. Visit the Forward location on M84 in Bay City to register your name now through February 24th. On Friday, February 25th, during a broadcast from that M84 Forward location, one winning name will be drawn. The winner gets a $500 gas card. It's the Forward Free Fuel February contest with Forward, with you, and with WSGW.
Back we come to the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for inviting me into conversations here. Hey, to piggyback on some of what Scott said, sunlight is one of the things that we need in politics. We need to have this come out in the open, and you aren't going to get the mainstream media to cover all the shenanigans that happened if you don't have some kind of congressional hearing type arrangement.
Wait. Is it your contention then that the shenanigans need to be publicized in almost a circus atmosphere rather
Not
than
exactly.
taken seriously and go through the jury process and have a trial?
Not exactly, but the problem is the way that you're wanting. What the phrase you use? The closed door investigation type thing. The mainstream
I want
media
the
will never
legal
cover
system.
that.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, but they'll never cover.
Well,
it.
no,
And-
they'll
and-
cover it if it goes to trial. It'll be covered.
Yeah, but it's like the new back page. It's the last 5 minutes of the show, or they put it on 11:30 at night when nobody's watching. In order to get it covered on the mainstream, the legacy media, in the broad daylight, where everybody can see what was happening, it almost has to go through that circus process. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know the problem though?
But that's the only way to get the publicity out, though. That it
Yeah,
happens.
then the problem becomes that the public then has to separate the truth from the trash, because
Well,
half of what you hear in those hearings, you can really question.
Crash going on that Hillary did this and Trump did this and he was with Russia and nobody wanted to talk about the laptop from wherever and all the shenanigans that Biden and the Biden family was. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Okay, wait a
That
minute now.
doesn't get any
Wait.
None of that gets coverage.
Well,
mainstream
it's been
media
talked
won't
about a
talk about
lot. It's been talked about a lot, though, and we've gotten absolutely nowhere with it.
Yeah, but the guys on the the late night guys, for example, Colbert, he won't touch it.
So what?
He won't touch it.
So
CBS
what?
won't touch it.
You
CNN.
think they
In
would?
order to get
Now
the
wait a minute.
coverage,
Wait,
you've got to have the.
Al,
you
do you
almost have
think
to have
they
the
would?
circus.
Do you think they would touch it, even if it became a
if-
circus? Because it's
If it
against
became
them.
a circus, they would.
No. Whose camp are they in?
The right. I understand that, but
Well, they're
all
not
this
going
is going on around. If other news media are reporting it and they're not,
They don't
people
care.
are going to look at why aren't they
Well,
reporting
because they're
what
not
the other
news
ones are
shows.
doing?
They're not news shows. They're entertainment shows.
CNN is, but they won't cover it.
Well, that's CNN's problem. But don't include the late night talk show hosts because they're not
Well,
news.
But I realize that, but they act like they are news.
Well, they act like
And
it.
they'll cover all the shenanigans that supposedly
Yeah, but
Trump
so
did.
do we as talk show hosts do the same thing. But I remind people
understand
regularly,
that.
I'm an opinion show, not a fact show.
I'm just a firm believer in the sunlight needs to shine on this. And-
Well, I am
and
too,
if
but
the
I would
barn
rather
door
see
has
it
to be
happen in
swung
a.
open,
I don't think we gain anything by doing that. That's a problem. The problem is we gain nothing. It's a waste of time and money. I'd rather see it go
we're
right
paying-
into the court
we're paying
system.
Their salaries, we're paying their salaries anyway.
Well,
Whether
yeah,
they
we're
do
paying
something or
their
not.
we're paying their salaries to do bidding for us as Americans and do what's right for the country, and that's
but if
not
we
what I'm
don't-
seeing.
I know we aren't seeing it now. We aren't seeing it now. They aren't doing anything to help us.
Well, so how is it going to get better if you have more circus?
Well, it's almost got to happen. Scott's right in some way that if you don't have this come to light and people see what went on, they'll do it again.
Well,
history will repeat itself. They'll do the same shenanigans.
In my
They got
opinion,
away with it.
in my opinion, if let's say the Durham report goes to the court and they decide to pursue it in a grand jury investigation, the CNNs of the world won't have any choice but to cover it because they'll look foolish if they don't. Now, they'll only be able to cover it to a certain point because what happens in a grand jury stays in the grand jury
Yeah, that's the
till you
problem.
get into a public court. Well, but the grand jury isn't a trial. The grand jury is simply a body that can bring an indictment.
Well, the whole thing needs to come out. We need to have the daylight shine on this brightly. I mean, brightly. That's the whole problem.
All right,
I don't
so
think there's been enough daylight on it.
We'll just agree to disagree on how to do it.
That's fine. I'm with you. I understand your point, but I just think that the more of this that's kept out of the spotlight, the worse it is.
Yeah.
I want the daylight to shine on this brightly. I mean, Klieg lights.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
thanks,
enough.
Arthur.
Thanks.
Have a nice morning,
You
sir.
too, Al,
Bye
by
now.
the way. Yeah, somebody at the station says, well, Hannity covers it every day. Well, of course he does. He comes from that viewpoint. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the mainstream medias of the world. As the CNNs, the NBC, CBSs, ABCs, have they covered it? Probably not. Talk show hosts coming from the right side will cover it. Talk show hosts coming from the left side probably won't even touch it. That's politics. It's the way it is. But I think the Washington circus in general has to end. And unfortunately, the more we have new and accessible forms of communication, social media, in addition to television, radio, and newspaper, the bigger the circus becomes because they learn how to use the circus. They learn how to use the platforms for their own benefit. So I think we need to find a different way through the court system. Anyway, just my opinion. And we will take a break, come back, and when we return, we'll get to Bill and Vassar. Well, we'll get to Paul and Saginaw first, and then Bill and Vassar when we return on the Art Lewis Show.
The dangerous villain, Dawn, rules wheat fields more than ever before. In a secret lab, the world's greatest scientists at BASF work night and day to find a solution. Suddenly, a breakthrough. With 2 superpower ingredients combined, Super Spherex fungicide is born. Now, Dawn doesn't stand a chance. And the wheat farms of Michigan are safer once again. Always read and follow label directions.
Carlos Santana. Saturday, April 16th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Party and play with the guitar god, Santana. Tickets start at $66.50. On sale now at the box offices or online at Santana. The legend is live. Santana, Saturday, April 16th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. So don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Hi, we're back here on WSGW. And Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. I agree with both you and your previous caller on that subject you were talking about, but I want to talk about a subject you were talking about earlier with your guest there, the debt, student loan debt.
Yep.
I want to give you a little education you may not be aware of. Out here in the Midwest, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, when the baby boomers were going to college, only the rich kids got their college education paid for. Everybody else had to work summers and or a part-time job to pay for their own college.
So what?
And when
So what? That was always the case.
Well,
where I came from in the Bronx, New York, was the same thing. If you had the money,
your parents paid for your education.
my parents paid for it, but my dad took out a loan. And I worked. I worked when I was in college. I had a job at a public television station, stuffing envelopes.
Okay.
I worked.
Okay.
Nothing's changed.
Well, when the baby boomers' kids went to college, in my opinion, their parents weren't smart enough. They paid their college. They paid their kids' college education. The old saying goes, "The ones you help the most kick you in the butt the hardest." And a lot of these back with a baby out of wedlock or drug addiction.
Oh, come on,
or
that's
they
not the
stopped going to
majority.
church and
There's
stuff
some.
like
That's
that.
not the majority. You can't paint people with that kind of a paintbrush.
Well, there's quite a few. Quite a few of them paid their parents back that way.
Quite a few is what?
the
How?
ones
What
you help the
percentage?
most
What
kick you in the
percentage,
butt the
Paul?
hardest.
What percentage? 50 or 2%?
It was a lot higher than 2%. I guarantee you that.
Well, you can't guarantee it because you don't know.
Here's why. If you look at the statistics over the last 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, 40% of America is born out of wedlock family. Okay? So
I don't know.
there's got to be a lot of college kids involved in that. That's a statistic. You can check it out yourself. So, a lot of this goes on. And the baby boomer parents were a lot smarter. They made their kids pay for college themselves, work the summer and work a part-time job. And you said you did yourself. And you turned out pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm before the baby boomers.
Well, you were you were pretty close to the baby boomers almost.
Yeah, but,
when it was done the old way, things were done the old way, kids turned out better. There was more discipline. They turned out to be better citizens in the whole 9 yards.
Well, that's a whole different topic because what happened there is what happened there was we forgot
back then too.
What we forgot to do was teach parents how to be parents. Generationally, from the 60s on, there has been, in my opinion, a decline in good parenting. That's not to paint all parents that way because there are lots of very fine parents out there. But I think as a principle, as just a general statement, there has been a decline in good parenting And we are seeing the results of it today. We're seeing a society which has moved away from faith and God. We've seen a society that moves away from authority. These are things you all were taught when you grew up. You know, your parents had that responsibility. They taught you those things. So yeah,
That's
from that
right.
standpoint,
Parents were the first teachers.
but I'm
Parents
not
were the first teachers.
I'm not ready to chuck a program because a few people misuse it. That doesn't make any sense either. So hey, all right, I gotta run.
All right.
Take care. Bye now. And Bill in Vassar. Bill, good morning.
How are you doing, Art?
We're doing all right, thanks.
No, I just had a comment on student loan debt.
Yep.
Nobody gets forced and says, they make it sound that you have to go to college to be anything.
Yeah.
You can be a plumber, electrician, cost you a fraction of the price.
And you make a lot more money.
And
you make a lot more money.
I bought a house. Nobody forced me to buy that house. If I don't make payments, they take it back.
Yep.
Why should all these students out saying they're going to repay it, get it forgiven for free?
Yeah, no, I'm not
That's all
disagreeing
I'm
with you at all. I'm in your camp. Nobody has forced it. I do think that at some
They
point
need
in
to get the
time,
cost under control.
exactly. That's where I was heading.
Yep.
Well, it's sort of like this may seem like a strange analogy, but it's sort of like hospitals. When was the last time you ever saw a hospital advertise, "Come stay with us because we're $10 cheaper than the guy down the road"? And colleges and universities, it's "Come stay with us because we got the best faculty, we got the best research, we've got the best this, we've got the best that." Not that we're $10 cheaper.
Exactly. And they've let these colleges just keep charging more and more because the government says so. Well, that's even like a doctor's office. You go in there to a dentist, they're going to give you 8 x-rays because that's what your insurance allows.
Mm-hmm.
You might not need all 8, but they're going to give it to you. If you allow these companies to do this, they're going to keep raising prices. Those boards on those colleges want to make money. All those guys that are invested in those colleges want to make money. That's
why you should start looking for nonprofits.
It's down to people wanting to make money, not.
Well, but you got to realize now this is also happening at state universities and public universities that are nonprofit. The story's not much different. I mean, is there much of a difference if you go to a private school like, say, Alma versus going to Michigan State University? Probably not. I mean, you're going to finance it the same way, Cost may be different. But
okay, well, that's pretty much all I had to say.
Hey, good.
I love listening to your show, man.
Glad you called, Bill. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, Joe in Bay City, hang on. We'll get to you next after these notes.
Superior Insurance Group, formerly Northway Plum Insurance and Henris Wealth Solutions, bring you to the first annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 19th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. You will enjoy cocktails, followed by a plated meal, dancing, and a show. Cash bar and dinner are from 5 until 7 p.m., followed by the big show from 7 until 10 p.m. During the big show, you will be transported back in time by a 17-piece orchestra and the Rat Pack. The event will be held at the Doubletree by Hilton, 1 Winona Park Place, Bay City, 48708. Tickets can be purchased by going online to theratpackgala.live. $200 or $2,000 for a table of 10. The proceeds from this show will go to the Bay City Noon Rotary Charitable Foundation that focuses on youth and education in Bay County. Join us Saturday, February 19th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit theratpackgala.live for your tickets today.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com for Sullivan's Food and Spirits is sold out. But you can still check them out online and in person. And don't forget to keep checking back because there are still a ton of deals on RocketGrabPlus.com.
Got a party at 10 coming in. We need to flip those 2 tables.
Leah's restaurant is fully booked night after night.
Section 3 is still behind.
She no longer has reservations about finally finding a hostess.
Why doesn't 23 have menus? Oh, Put them in my hand.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not abilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. Uma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. For the smarter business.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
I see we've got the midterms COVID variant. The science of just in time for the elections. The mask has fallen.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Hi, we're back here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, and Joe is in Bay City. Joe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thanks.
Well, it sounds like you have a few people in disagreement with you on this Durham thing, and and I will say this. I'll preface what I want to say with this opening statement that I believe you're on the short end of the stick on that argument, and
probably
my wife wanted me to make sure to tell you to wake up and smell the coffee. Now, that being said, we all have our own opinions.
Is that decaf or is that caffeinated coffee?
Well, whichever one you like. Anyway, as far as the reason I'm saying, I think you should look at this Durham thing a little bit differently than other circus acts that we've seen out in the politics, is that when Durham, if he can ever get all the information he wants, his report's going to be based on facts. Whereas 4 years with Trump, everything they brought against him, pretty much everything, I'm sure there must have been about 2 or 3% of facts somewhere in there, but it was not based on facts. It was all made up, pretty much.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
People like the Colberts, they just...
Here's the problem, Joe. Once it gets to a congressional hearing panel, facts don't matter. It's a circus. Facts matter in a courtroom.
Well,
facts matter in a jury.
I'm going to be in disagreement only because I think Durham's going to have a lot more weight behind him because they know he's looking at this very closely, and he's not going to have some gray matter. He's going to have the facts.
So what you're telling me is the Democrats will simply accept it and go right along with it, won't try and twist it, won't try and bend it. Come on now.
Oh, absolutely not. They'll do it.
So they'll make a circus out of it.
Nominees.
So they'll make a circus out of it.
Well, just like they did with the Supreme Court. And, but that's, I expect that. But again, if you have a strong enough case, which I'm sure Durham will, if he ever finishes and has the facts, I think they'll make themselves look even more foolish.
Well, here's the thing. You have that investigation. You have that big circus. It's covered. They make their speeches. They do all of that. And in the end, nothing comes out of it. On the other hand, if you take it to a grand jury and somebody's indicted and goes to trial, you have a solution.
Well, I agree 100%.
Then why waste time? Then why waste time with the circus other than to try and benefit from whatever publicity that'll give your side?
Well, how do we know it won't go to a grand jury? We don't know anything.
We don't know that. We don't know it. We don't. We don't know until the report's done. We absolutely don't.
But I'll go back to what I said. When he's done, he'll have more facts than the Democrats had for 4 years against Trump.
That may be. That may be, but it won't be presented that way in a congressional hearing. It never is. It's a circus. It's a circus for the cameras. But again, I respect your opinion, and I really respect your wife's opinion. But
that's good. I can
and I know you do too. But
absolutely.
But
I think I do, but I do.
But I'm not gonna change my mind. So, but I'll tell you what, though, this is the kind of disagreement. We're all on the same side on this disagreement. It's just how to get to the end. So that's
true.
So it's just.
I'm sure you personally want to know the facts.
I absolutely want to know the facts, which is why I don't want the circus.
And,
so, all right.
And we've seen so much now that we thought we saw the facts, and everybody skated anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And there you go. There you prove my point. You prove my point.
I'm hoping Durham's going to be different. I'm hoping he's going to have
well,
a strong
good luck
case
with that.
and back it up. And
good luck with that.
All
right, Joe.
Hey, final word.
Real quick.
Stafford. Another disagreement with you. Stafford should have been an MVP, not Cup.
Oh, I didn't. I thought Cup should be MVP just because I liked the way he played, but I would not have had a problem with Stafford being MVP at all.
Stafford, Coop, or Donald all could have been three co-MVP.
Yeah, you're right. I'll buy that. All right, I got to run, Joe.
Yeah.
Take care. Last call is going to be Dale. Dale, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lewis. I would like to change course here a little bit, and I'm essentially the same age as you are, and I would like to just say on the air and thank all the nurses and the folks that have taken care of my wife at McLaren Bay Medical, and I don't think we appreciate them folks. Need them.
I'm going to say one. I'm going to say one word. I'm going to say one word to you. Amen. Absolutely.
You just got to bless them.
Yep, they do immeasurable good in our society, and I don't even know how to begin to repay them.
I thank you so much for your call. For taking my call.
Absolutely, Dale. Thank you, and I wish you well, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Bye-bye now. All right, that's going to do it for the show today. We will take our last break, and then we will be back to close out.
It could be the best years of retirement. You'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
WSGW. Source for local news and information in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, that'll do it. That puts this show in the can, as they say. And we thank you for participating and joining us. Back tomorrow with lots more. Coming up on Focus, we'll focus on the SVRC Marketplace in downtown Saginaw. Before that, news from CBS and the local report. We'll be back with Focus right after the news. Talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's breaking news from Connecticut. Word of a settlement in a case stemming from one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history.
There's somebody shooting in here at Sandy Hook School.
CBS's Allison Keyes says it's the lawsuit 9 Sandy Hook school families brought against the gunmaker Remington.
The amount of the settlement wasn't released, but attorneys for the families are calling it historic. Remington made the Bushmaster AR-15 style rifle used in the of 21st graders and 6 educators in Newtown, Connecticut. The gunman fatally shot his mother before the rampage and then himself.
Russia's president signals he is open for talks with the U.S. and NATO as his military masses troops near Ukraine. Reporter Felix Light in Moscow.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said that he was ready to work with the West on de-escalating tensions. The latest signal that the prospect of war with Ukraine might be receding. The comments came during talks with the German leader Olaf Scholz, who was in Moscow today for talks on Ukraine.
In Britain, Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
I think what everybody needs to see is a sense that things are being scaled back, scaled down, is over, and that a conversation, a negotiation is beginning.
President Biden is talking with French President Macron right now about Ukraine. A Russian figure skater who failed a drug test before the Winter Games has the lead after the women's short program. CBS's Steve Futterman is in Beijing.
When she was introduced, I'd say Kamila Valieva received a louder ovation than the previous skaters. There was certainly no booing or anything like that. When she began, obviously everyone was watching her closely. Her first jump, she did land awkwardly, but after that, she seemed to perform very well.
In a BBC interview, unvaccinated tennis star Novak Djokovic indicates he next 2 major tournaments if vaccine mandates are in place.
If this means that you miss the French Open, is that a price you'd be willing to pay?
Yes, that is the price that I'm willing to pay.
And if it means that you miss Wimbledon this year, again, that's a price you're willing to pay?
Yes.
Strong Super Bowl ratings reported, the TV broadcast averaging just over 100 million viewers on NBC and Telemundo. In a study of more than 250 rivers around the world, researchers in Britain say pollution from drugs and pharmaceutical byproducts is a threat to the environment and global health.
It's a vast amount of different ways that these pharmaceuticals reach the environment, and it really there's different in different parts of the world.
Study author John Wilkinson says some of it can be blamed on illegal dumping. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 464 points. NASDAQ is up 280. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Elise and Carl needed a small business loan fast to order more equipment for their bakery. Elise suggested OnDeck.com, but instead, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Bad Falcon,
healed! Lone Falcon, why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to apply in minutes and, if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As America's largest online small business lender, OnDeck has funded over $14 billion to businesses like yours, so you can borrow with confidence and get your loan fast. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Superior Insurance Group, formerly Northway Plum Insurance and Henrys Wealth Solutions, bring you to the first annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 19th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. You will enjoy cocktails, followed by a plated meal, dancing, and a show. Cash bar and dinner are from 5 until 7 p.m., followed by the big show from 7 until 10 p.m. During the big show, you will be transported back in time by a 17-piece orchestra and the Rat Pack. The event will be held at the Doubletree by Hilton, 1 Winona Park Place, Bay City, 487. By going online to theratpackgala.live. Individual tickets are $200 or $2,000 for a table of 10. The proceeds from the show will go to the Bay City Noon Rotary Charitable Foundation that focuses on youth and education in Bay County. Join us Saturday, February 19th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit theratpackgala.live for your tickets today.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
And 25 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchup. A recall effort against a Davison school board member has failed due to a lack of valid signatures. Matthew Smith was convicted last month of making a threatening phone call to a public official. In March 2020, he was accused by the Houghton County clerk Jennifer Kelly for threatening to poison her dogs. Smith is also the chair of the Genesee County GOP. The recall effort was started by the Committee for School Board Integrity of Davison. However, Genesee County Clerk John Gleason dismissed the effort, saying there were not enough valid signatures collected from registered voters within the committee is disputing Gleason's claim, saying he improperly rejected 118 signatures. After a review, Gleason says 36 of those signatures did turn out to be valid after all, but the petition still fell short of the required number of valid signatures. State Representative Timmy Beeson says he's working on legislation to require school boards to provide audio recordings of their meetings. Here's WSGW's Rick Antonio.
Beeson says the move will help improve transparency and allow a greater number of parents who may not be able to physically attend the meetings due to their work or other time constraints to be better informed about their child's education. For a 10th meeting about the possibility of live streaming their meetings or providing recordings, several Bay City Public School Board members said they would never provide such services, falsely citing the Michigan Open Meetings Act, and despite surrounding districts like Saginaw Public Schools and a number of municipalities, including Bay City, already providing such services. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time, 11:07.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The new survey shows increasing concern among teachers in Michigan classrooms. An overwhelming 91% of those surveyed in late January said that they were extremely or very concerned about the growing teacher shortage and its impact in the classroom. The statewide survey from the Michigan Education Association showed an increase of up to 20% of respondents who say they plan to leave the education field in the next 2 to 3 years. Another 14% say they plan to retire. Toyota has had to ease off on plans to throttle production in March. Here's Jeff Gilbert with this report.
March was going to be the month that Toyota started replenishing its inventories. Now, Automotive News says it's taking about 100,000 vehicles out of its production plans. That would still leave Toyota building 950,000 cars and trucks, a record for March. Car makers are still dealing with tight chip supplies, but are hoping for a return to normal in the second half of this year.
The statewide group of leaders has launched an effort calling for an end to gun violence. End Gun Violence Michigan says it will first encourage to take action and consider reforms to include universal background checks, safe storage measures, and bans on guns at government buildings. It could also consider starting a ballot initiative if changes are not made. The group was brought to action by the Oxford High School shooting last November, but says gun violence has been an ongoing problem in many communities. An investigation is underway to determine over PFAS detected in shallow groundwater near the Houghton County Airport. The Western UP Health Department reportedly sampled the area of residential drinking water wells within a 1-mile radius of the airport. The PFAS component at a trace level was detected in one of the 21 wells which were sampled. PFAS had been used at the airport in firefighting foams. PFAS can increase the chance of kidney and testicular cancers and may reduce fertility. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly cloudy skies here for today with a high in the upper 20s. We'll have winds out of the southeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions. Temperatures steady early, then slowly rise overnight. By Wednesday, a chance for rain. Skies a high into the upper 40s. Then by Thursday, a chance for snow showers 2 to 4 inches possible. Cloudy skies and a high around 33. Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions. We'll see high around 24. Then by Saturday, partial sunshine develops a high of 26. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.3 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And welcome to another Focus program here on WSGW, brought to you by Roof Max, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about Roof Max online at roofmax.com or call Ben 989-859-6751. Roof Max, that's with 2 X's. And before we introduce you to our guest this morning, one traffic note for you. All lanes of M52 between Teft and Pryor are now back open. They were closed earlier this morning. They are now back open for you. And today on Focus, we focus on that great institution in downtown Saginaw, the SVRC Downtown Marketplace. And with us once again, we say good morning to the market manager, Rachel Trumbull. Rachel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Hope you had a good Valentine's Day.
I did. You hope you did too.
I did. Yes. All right. So the market is closed today, but it's always a good time to talk about the marketplace. I think, for those that for whatever reason have never been there, describe the location of the marketplace. And more importantly, I don't think we've done this in a long time. Describe how the SVRC Marketplace came about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are located right on Riverfront Saginaw, and we are inside of the very historic Saginaw News Building. So a lot of what you see when you walk inside the market is the brick that you see, the marble that you see. And so I'm very proud that we have such a beautiful that was so old and iconic for the community, and we turned it into the marketplace. And we are located right next to the Bancroft, right across from Erica's Flowers, Dawn of a New Day, Valerie's downtown. So some really great businesses surround us. And how the marketplace came about is we are located in a food desert. So our CEO was looking for a building, and he had, SVRC is so out in the community and serving the community in all different facets. And so our CEO wanted to do something, supply the community with fresh fruits and vegetables, growth as Saginaw needs that so bad. And so he found this building, and the rest is history. Grant funded. The community really embraced the project. It took quite a long time, but here we are going on applying and providing for the community.
And it really is, a different world from the world the SVRC organization was used to.
Yes, very, very different. This is our first for-profit. SVRC is a nonprofit. We have Westlands, we have an autism clinic, we have therapy, and we have underneath SVRC. But this is the actual first for-profit. Completely different than what SVRC was, the norm for SVRC.
All right, so let's bring everybody up to date on the marketplace today. What basically is inside the marketplace?
Have some of our very popular, same businesses, our global flavors, like we like to say. So, you can come on in and get Falafel Hut, Saigon sandwich. It's a perfect time for some delicious pho. Everything's fresh from Saigon sandwich. And we, of course, have American favorites like Macon Bacon, so they're honey. We have Creole Queens. And we are welcoming some new businesses. So we do have Cafe Versus, which is formerly known as Circus Snacks, that was located in the Fashion Square Mall. They have joined us, and they have really great vegan options, which is something that the market was missing. So, they have vegan tacos, vegan nachos. They have lots of vegan opportunities.
Wow.
And then we do have some new businesses coming in. We do have Thrive Creations coming in. I'm very excited for her. She is so creative, and she love type of gear, which I just think is so perfect. She's very community oriented, so we're really excited to be having her. And then we have some other prospects coming in that I'll announce later as soon as we can. But we have a lot of new businesses coming in, and again, that's the nature of the game for the marketplace. A lot of people ask us why we have turnover. Well, the turnover, that's what we want to happen. We want someone to move on and say, okay, I'm going to go get my own building for me, so it allows somebody else to come on in and start their small business.
Yeah, many businesses, you act almost like an incubator. The business gets started, and then they find they have to expand.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what we're set up to do.
All right, hang on. We're going to take a break, and then we will be back. We're talking to Rachel Trumbull from the SVRC Marketplace. More after this.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again. Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill. I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash gas you buy. Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app? Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas. Does that actually add up to anything? I'll make $200 to $300 this year. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GEAR to earn 20 more on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money, guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
There has to be. We are in the middle. A new center. Moving to the middle. Where people in the middle can work together.
I am right in the middle of it. And I cannot tell you how happy I am to speak with you.
News coverage on WSGW. This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on the WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll about online gaming in Michigan. In January, the Michigan Gaming Control Board released information that shows the state did generate $1.4 billion in online gaming for 2021, the first year this type of gaming was allowed. That covers the internet, casinos, poker, sports betting. In fact, Michigan was the first state to achieve revenue of at least $1 billion in its first year of offering online gaming. Over $200 million was paid in taxes and fees to the state. Poll question is, what is your experience with online gaming in Michigan? Do you play on a regular basis? Do you play every so often? Do you rarely play, or have you never played and don't intend to? Your online gaming. No. When you vote in the WSW online poll box, go to the homepage of WSW.com, scroll down, and you'll find the poll box there. And thank you for making your vote.
I guess I'd have to say I'm on there a lot since I bet 50 cents here, 50 cents there, $1 there.
Does that count as playing?
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios. This is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you, talking to Rachel Trumbull, the market manager at the SVRC Downtown Marketplace. Wonderful food vendors, wonderful businesses inside. But there's, in a way, Rachel, there's a lot more to that building because you have other space that's available too, don't you?
We do. We have event spaces that individuals can rent out for private events, and also, community businesses, organizations for any kind of fundraising or anything like that. So we offer two different spaces. They've been very, very popular, very reasonably priced. Just beautiful spaces, and of course, allowing their guests to also think it's very unique place to have some kind of private event where they can also enjoy the market and then enjoy their private event.
And what about food? Now, can they bring in food? Do you have a commercial kitchen there? Where do they get the food if they're going to have an event that requires food?
Yeah, they can bring in food, and we do have small businesses, and in fact, most of our food small businesses cater. So that's what's nice too. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can rent the event space, and then our small businesses, all of our food businesses offer catering. We also have Delicious Sweets, who does cakes and cookies and cupcakes, and Rebecca's Pies. So truly, if you really wanted to have everything done in-house, you could have that. So that's what's really nice about that. That possibility.
And let's talk too about the big restaurant.
The boardroom.
The boardroom.
Yeah, the boardroom. So the boardroom is owned by SVRC, another business that SVRC took on, another for-profit. We just recently reopened back up. We have Peyton, who is running it now, who just does such an amazing job. And we're really, really excited for the changes that he's made. The food is just excellent. We're going to be the only outdoor patio right here on Riverfront Saginaw. We're open Wednesday through Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then we also offer happy hour. We offer happy hour from 2 to 6 p.m. We have $3 drop beers, and then we offer $4 appetizers. So if you haven't tried the boardroom yet, between 2 and 6 p.m. is a long day. Come, zip on over, try. It's in one of the most historical spots inside the marketplace. And it's just such a great, different atmosphere. It almost makes you feel like you're not even here in Saginaw. It's just such a great, iconic restaurant that everyone should come in and try.
But just so everybody understands, it's open the same day as the marketplace is open, right?
Yep, and it's open till 10 p.m.
You ever see that expanding? If not the rest of the marketplace, that restaurant at least?
Possibly. I mean, there's always possibilities, right? But in order for us to have anything or see anything like that, we definitely have to have that community support. Like I say all the time, community support is what keeps all of our small businesses, to include the boardroom, to include the marketplace. It keeps it going. It keeps it alive. So when we get that, feel that full community support, then anything's possible.
All right. So I want to go back to something I always ask you because I think it's important. Someone who has an idea for a small business, where do they begin with you?
So they can reach out to me via email or via phone call. And what I do is then sit down and meet with them. We set up an appointment, and I have a one-on-one appointment with them. And we just talk about what they want to do. Where do they see themselves? And then I'm fortunate enough in my position to get and organizations that can help them start from basically nothing to everything. We have CMURC inside of our building. It's an accelerated business program that offers such a great, phenomenal program. There's SEDC and SBDC, Saginaw organizations that can help financially, and they also offer small business consulting. So I have the opportunity to literally give them, a play-by-play of what they need to do. And then once they do that, they come back to me with a business plan because they will get that assistance. And then we make their dream become a reality. So if anyone is ever interested, you can reach out to me. We'll set up an appointment, and I will guide them the best way that I possibly can.
You're actually setting them up for success before they ever open a door.
Absolutely. Small businesses, opening up your small business is more than just an idea. So I'm very thankful that I'm the one that gets to connect them with such great business, can actually take their dream and turn it into fruition.
Are there any events?
I love that part about my job.
Any events coming up in the near future?
Yes, we have a really, really big event this Saturday. So it's not very often that you get to get dressed up with your kiddos. So we have our Kids and Kisses. It's a semi-formal dance. It's going to be this Saturday, February 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. And there's ticket purchases. You can see all of our information on Facebook. It's $10 for a couple for 2 tickets, and then it's $15 for 4 more. And that includes some tacos from Electric Taco. They'll be joining us for the first time here at the marketplace. We have DJ Ryan Russo, who's going to be doing all the beautiful lighting and providing us with the music. We have Caught in Time Photo Booth. She does a really cool blow-up photo booth. And we have Poppin' Decor, who's going to be doing some face painting. So it's just going to be a really fun time for the kiddos and for family time. This Saturday, February 19th, 5 to 8 p.m. It'll be located in our second floor ballroom, and you can call me and purchase tickets, or you can purchase tickets at the door.
And what's the phone number?
989-770-0233.
Rachel, always a pleasure.
Thank you, Art.
We'll talk to you down the road. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Rachel Trumbull, market manager at the SVRC Marketplace. We'll be back to close out.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you